Oh, I got to read Dad my tongue twisters to warm up.
Hi, my name is Chubby. My mama's name is Chubby. My dad's name is Chubby. Even my dog's name is Chubby. One day, my mama asked, Chubby, how can you smile while that's fat? And I said, like this.
Doom, ba-da-doom, 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 doom. I'm number one. I'm the first in line. I'm numero uno.
Welcome back to a special episode of Lost Legacies. I'm Matt.
And I'm Sam.
And today we have a special guest star, our dad. Welcome, Pops.
Hi, I'm Dad.
That's Dad. So, as Sam and myself are prepping, season 2 of Lost, we didn't want to go too long without doing an episode, and we've always wanted to do this kind of episode with our dad. So I said, why not? Think of it like a pilot episode. If y'all like this, maybe we'll get more. If Dad can grace us with his presence, maybe we'll make more of these episodes.
He is such a busy man. Mm-hmm. His time is money.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But who knows? This episode could go terribly off the rails and horrible, and this might be a one-time thing. So,
but if it does, it's not going to be because of Dad.
Yeah,
it's going to be because of Matt and I.
That's true.
Thank you. Well, if we're riding the rails, let's get rolling then.
All right, let's ride this white pony together. Essentially, Sam and I have found a bunch of random questions online, and we're just going to ask Dad. So the whole concept behind this is it's called Ask Dad. Mm-hmm. Although there are several podcasts with that name out right now, none of them have uploaded in some time. So if we like it, we're going to take it.
And
we're Americans.
Exactly. And none of them have our dad.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Some of these questions, since this is Lost Legacy, I did want to keep some of the questions, storytelling based or movie related, something similar, because that's what we like to talk about, storytelling. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I just picked a lot of random questions, and we're going to see what happens. I know a lot of people out there don't have dads or don't have good relationships with their dads. So if you got questions for a dad, you let us know, and we'll ask ours for you. #AskDad. And I guess also #Lost Legacies as well, since that is technically the podcast. So let's do this, Sam. Do you want to go first, or me first, or who? How? What? Huh? What?
You got a lot of energy right now. You go first.
I don't. It's called exhaustion. Okay, I'm gonna pick a random one. Okay, so just to set up, a lot of these questions I pulled from Yahoo Answers, which is now dead. Quora, Ask Reddit, Answers.com, GeekQuestioner.com.
Wow.
There's a few others. Here's the thing, though, about Quora. I really like it, except I didn't realize it doesn't say who asked the original question. Sometimes it does. You have to dig. Mm-hmm. So I have all these screen names of people who didn't even ask the question. So I'm just going to say anonymous. Anonymous asked a lot of questions today, Dad. So I hope you're ready.
I hope so, too.
See, I'm surprised. I came up with all my own questions.
Oh, you did? I didn't come up with any. I just found these online.
I just how do I search that? What questions should I ask my father?
Yeah. Well, maybe I'll do that if there is a next time. All right. So first question of the show, Dad. Your podcast debut. Anonymous asks, who first invented clothes and why?
Okay. Okay, here we go. Adam and Eve. After they went crossways with God and God kicked them out, they discovered that they were naked. So they covered themselves.
That you know what? As soon as you said that, it made sense. I was like, oh yeah, okay, I remember the story. So our clothes are prisons of shame.
Exactly.
There you go. I've always said, shoes are called feet prisons, feet cages for a reason.
There you go. There you go.
Well, there we go. One question down.
Give
All
me
right,
another
Sam,
one.
go for it.
All right. Well, I guess since I wrote this question, Sam asks, do you believe that aliens exist? And if so, will we or have we met them in our lifetime?
Ooh, okay. First part, do they exist? I want to believe they do. Okay. I mean, we're this tiny blue dot just floating out there in the middle of everything, right? What, what are the odds that we're the only ones? It just, I can't wrap my head around that we are we really that special that we're the only life floating out there? That's a tough one. Now, have they visited us? If they exist, have they visited us? Man, there's a lot of unexplained things out there, but I haven't seen, not that I've looked, but, I haven't really seen anything concrete. So far, everything that's been brought up, like Machu Picchu, the incredible stone cutting skills found in South America and all that stuff, the more and more people study it, the more and more they're able to understand how it actually came about.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So people did it. There you go. Okay. So I want to believe, yes, that they're out there and they're more advanced, so we can't see them. They're smarter than us. I don't know. But I want to say, yes, they are. But there's not enough evidence for me to believe that they've been visiting us. And that's just me.
Okay.
I kind of like the Star Trek mentality of like Starfleet can't interfere or visit other alien species until they come up with like warp capability. I kind of feel it's like that with us.
Mm-hmm.
If there is some kind of life out there, they're just hiding, or we're not able to see it. Our technology isn't advanced enough. I think humanity is in its teenage phase right now. So we kind of have to mature a bit before the aliens are like, hey, come on board.
All of this right now, this is the teenage phase of humanity.
Yeah. This is puberty,
Oh,
okay.
gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Don't pop it. Don't pop it. It'll come out on its own.
Wow. Is that why I want to sleep all morning long?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. That's pretty good. Man, I feel like you could do the whole episode on that question alone. But man, Sam had a good question. Tell Sam that.
That was a good question. Now, I have to admit that when I was in high school, way back in the 1970s, I was all over this alien stuff. Went to the library. You know about libraries, right? Anyway.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Ancient technology. I would go to the library and read everything I could about aliens, visitations, unexplained things, all that kind of stuff. And it really hasn't changed.
Mm-hmm.
They keep bringing up the same things, the pyramids, the lines in South America. What are they? The NASA lines or
Nazca?
whatever? Nazca lines, yes. If you line up Stonehenge and the pyramids and all this kind of stuff, it's just stuff that's getting rehashed and rehashed. So it's a very good question. If there's another episode, maybe I'll ask for a little prompting, maybe on topic or something, so I can kind of brush up on this. But
No, research isn't really what we do here.
oh,
Lost Legacies.
That's not technically true.
Okay,
You
all
try and
right.
look up everything for every episode just to
Oh,
see
that's
if
true.
there's
That's
talking
exactly
points.
what we do.
Yes.
On Lost Legacies. Okay.
I don't see why we wouldn't extend the
Alright.
same courtesy to our father.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, speak on that same topic, Dad. I'm glad you bring that up because Christopher asks, what were you doing in the 1970s?
Junior high and high school. Oh, well, and I started junior college in the fall of 78. So I guess I spent I spent all the 70s in school.
Okay, so for all the youngins out there, junior high is what we call middle school, right?
Right. But it was 7th, 8th, and 9th grade.
Oh, ninth
And
as
high
well.
school was 10th, 11th, and 12th.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. Okay,
Yeah.
so there you go. You were studying. That's why you're so smart, or you act like it.
Well, smoke and mirrors, son.
Mhm.
Smoke and mirrors.
All right, Sam. Well, that was my second one. So you got to go next. But since you asked all the questions, I suggest you come up with cool, like tag names for all your questions,
Tag names.
like usernames.
Oh. Well, I wrote all of these. So
I want a good username.
all right. Let's see. Doughboy Malone asks tortillas. You can have only one kind for the rest of your life. Corn or flour?
Whoa, tough question there, Doughboy. But really, I have to go with corn.
Ah,
Corn,
okay.
yeah. No, I'm a corn tortilla kind of guy.
Okay. Corn tortilla. Okay, but
Case closed. Mystery solved.
I mean, sure, I'm not going to argue the merits, but I kind of want to know, like, why is it just because, you can get more, when you're dipping it in your soup and you can
Well,
all that.
Because flour tortilla is a symbol of imperialism.
Oh, don't get me started
Hang
on that.
on.
Don't get me started. Okay. All right.
Let's not go there.
Because it is. All right. It is. Way back in the day, the only people that could afford flour were the rich people. Okay. Corn tortillas were made by the everyday man. Now, granted, you had to go out and harvest your own corn and grind it and all that kind of stuff, but that was the food of the poor people, was corn tortillas. Flour had to be shipped in and processed. And, once they started growing it here in the Americas, it was still very expensive. So flour and flour tortillas was for the rich. Now, that's not why I prefer corn tortillas. I kind of separate it out. Flour tortillas are excellent for breakfast tacos and breakfast and stuff like that. Corn tortillas, on the other hand, man, that's dinner time.
That's true. You can get more utility, I guess, out of the corn tortilla.
And like with caldo, with soup, man, there's nothing like a corn tortilla with that.
Okay, I can see that.
So it's corn tortilla.
I guess because flour also, I guess it is more filling because they're bigger and flourier.
Yeah.
So I guess you would. I understand using that for smaller meals. Makes your tacos go farther. Not me. I'll eat it any day, or any time of day. So thank you, Sam. Go ahead and thank Doughboy for us. That was a good one.
All right. Thank you, Doughboy Malone.
I have a whole list and I'm rolling a dice to see which one I randomly pick. So Anonymous is back.
Again.
And they want to know, is it a good day for you to have ice cream?
Any day is a good day for ice cream. Next question.
Perfect.
Wow.
Sam, do you want me to go again or do you want to?
Yeah. Yes, please.
Okay. Okay, this is from, I'm going to butcher this name. I'm sorry. I believe it's Tien Shin Han. Tien Shin Han wants to know, why can't I see Ghost? That's a good point.
It's
Wow.
Where are they?
well, okay. You can't see them because they're not real.
What?
I
That's not the answer we wanted.
I know. That's not the answer you wanted to hear.
But we are going to have some of these. We're going to have some of these questions that we don't agree with.
I personally do not believe in ghosts.
Is there any particular reason why?
It goes back to evidence. How do I say this? There's just not enough ghost evidence in this realm for me to truly believe in them. Now, granted, as a species, we have talked about ghosts for the beginning of speech, okay, to explain a great number of things. But there again, I think it's because we're trying to explain the loss of a loved one, trying to put some type of context to things that we don't understand. Now, are there spirits? Probably. I believe in angels. I believe that when we die, we go to heaven or purgatory. I'm Catholic, so I believe in purgatory, right? Maybe is it possible that some of those souls stick around, like they don't get the message, they're supposed to go somewhere?
Mm-hmm.
Possible. I don't know. But no one's ever come back to explain that to me or really to anybody else. So are there ghosts? I don't think so. And since we can't see them, I'm going with that.
That's interesting because I'm really going to. What's the word?
And I'm sorry. You're really gonna what now?
I'm gonna boil your brains. I don't know. Okay, because I was just thinking,
bake your dough is what you're gonna do.
Because this goes back to the alien question. It's the lack of evidence, right? One, I feel like, yeah, I do think like ghosts are a direct byproduct of our either fear and or not understanding the afterlife. So as humans, we want to connect the dots. That being said, if they were real, why can we not see them? Or we're like, if they are real, why is there no evidence? Aliens and ghosts. I just read this thing the other day about the fourth dimension. Now we already know, there's other dimensions, there's other stuff, there's stuff out there that we can't comprehend. If there are beings that live in the fourth dimension in 4D, we can never see them, but there is no way that we can hide from them. I know that's kind of creepy, but I was thinking about that. I was like, oh yeah, that's interesting. Okay. So maybe it's not the idea of like a typical alien or ghost story. There is that kind of science behind it. Like, okay, we do know about other dimensions, kind of. But what if intelligent life in space, that's why we haven't seen them yet. Maybe it's the same thing with ghosts. Maybe, this one's going to keep you up at night, Sam.
Uh-oh.
Maybe ghosts are aliens just in the fourth dimension.
All right.
Who knows, right?
Yeah, I mean, who knows? I have come to interpret ghosts as some sort of how do we say it is a ghost is something that is left behind. It's a memory more than anything else. You know, just look at the Winchester mansion, right? The story goes that the man who created the Winchester rifle was so afraid of the people who had died at the end of the Winchester rifles that their ghosts were going to come back and were going to haunt him. Now I don't remember if it was him or if it was his wife.
It's his wife.
His wife commissioned to make the entire house ghost proof, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
So there's sets of staircases that lead to nowhere. There's doors that open up into a wall or into thin air. And it's all things to just trick, ghosts. And to rational thought, to rational minds, obviously, like, oh, this man's insane. He's crazy. And it's just the guilt and the trauma that, has caused him to go crazy. But what if that's what ghosts are? What if they are guilt personified? What if they are this immense trauma that has been taken, that is enacted upon a body, and it's so powerful that it can't leave. The body is gone, but it can inhabit anything else. So it lingers, so it stays. That to me is what a ghost is. It's something, and it doesn't necessarily have to be, physical violence or anything like that. It is just something. There's a powerful emotion that is felt by somebody, and it gets left behind. That's, you get, I think, there's something like, La Llorona, that's something of a ghost story. That's kind of a similar thing. There's this trauma that is there, and it gets left behind.
Yeah. Well, this is three different perspectives, which I love. We have Dad, who's a non-believer. You have Matt, who kind of, I have like the more scientific approach to it. No, there's something there. It's just we don't see it. And then you have Sam, who has like the more, I guess, I don't know what you would say. I guess maybe a spiritual side to that. Because like I am somebody who believes in souls. So do I think it's possible maybe that's what happens, or that could happen to a soul that is somehow tainted? That's the whole premise of so many like ghost stories and like monsters and stuff.
Yeah.
Something is strong enough or dark enough that it keeps traces of it behind. And if that wasn't real, Jared Padalecki wouldn't have a career. That's what the whole Supernatural show is based on.
And Jensen Ackles too.
Jensen Ackles too. Yes.
Jensen Ackles too.
Exactly. So I don't know. But just to end this question before we go forward, to counterpoint my dad, I'm going to quote the 1990 something Tim Allen movie, The Santa Claus. When the little boy asks, "Have you ever seen $1 million?" No. Well, you know it exists. Just because we haven't seen it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Also tell that to babies without object permanence.
Okay, fair enough.
Thank you, Tien Shinhan. That was an awesome question.
Awesome question. All right, give me another one. Give me another one that I can throw dirt on.
All right. Well, this one is from username Sejuan.
Oh,
I
okay.
imagine it's like the sauce.
Yeah, yeah.
As we all know, cars are a thing, and there's a lot of things going on inside them. What are 5 important car maintenance things that everyone should know how to do?
Ooh,
Oh,
I like
gosh.
this. I like this.
5.
Technical material questions.
Okay. Maintenance. You should know how to put air in your tires. You should
Okay.
know how to change the windshield wipers. You should know how to change a flat tire.
Ooh, yeah.
Okay.
one.
All right. For some folks, you ought to know how to put gas in the car. That is the thing. There are people that don't know how. Okay.
That can trip you up sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. And I need a fifth. I need a fifth. Just regular maintenance. I guess how to check the fluids in the vehicle. You know, your oil, the antifreeze, and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Water in the battery. Just kind of basic stuff. For those of you who are questioning water in the battery, there are batteries out there that you pop open these little tight flaps, and you have to fill the cells with water. There are other batteries that have a solid top.
You want to unplug the battery, right? First?
Oh gosh, yes.
Right. Okay. I just wanted to be sure.
Okay.
That's what I do. I'm like, I make sure these things are unplugged just in case.
Yes, unplug it. Yeah. Disconnect the cables. Be careful because there's also acid inside the batteries. Okay. So there you go. We could spend more time on batteries, but there you go. Those are my 5.
I like
All
it. Those are
right.
pretty solid.
All right. Yeah. Those are good.
Ooh, thunder.
Thunder. There's a storm here in South Texas.
Yeah. So if you hear water in the background, don't worry. You didn't leave the faucet on. I did. Also, Matt's dating advice 101. Always learn how to change a tire. Just saying. If you know how, you'll get the call.
Okay, hang on. I want to address this moment really quickly because everything about you just changed. You leaned into the mic, your shoulders kind of, like got, and you lowered your voice.
Mm-hmm. It's
to
my
sound like this.
nighttime radio voice.
Nighttime radio.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
My radio name is actually Delilah.
It's you? Wow.
Wow.
Now, Delilah's nationwide, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Hopefully people got that joke.
But do I really want to be here when my son is giving dating advice?
I don't know, Matt. How is that working out for you?
Worked in the past.
Fair enough. All right. Fair enough.
All right. So here's another one. Kind of picking all the crazy ones. Anonymous wants to know, Dad.
Again, Anonymous?
Oh yeah. Anonymous is going to piss you off, especially with this next one.
Okay.
Anonymous wants to know, why is Earth flat?
Oh my goodness.
I can tell that's a man who does not know how to change a tire.
Oh my gosh. He really asked why? Why is the Earth flat?
Flat earthers around the globe unite.
Okay. All you flat earthers out there, you're wrong. It's round, okay? Okay. It's just round. There's pictures from space. Are they fake? No. It's round. things that spin tend to be roundish.
You know what?
There
I
you
don't even
go.
know. I don't know like what the arguments are. I saw a quick video of I forgot what it was called, but it was a flat earther and a scientist sit down and have beer, and they're going to debate. I couldn't get through it. I couldn't. I just like I could not listen to the guy talk. Like nothing was making sense. He had all these theories and ideas. I'm like, to me, that stuff like we learned as kids. Like you didn't need this NASA scientist or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, I'll be the first one to tell you I did not do my research on flat Earth theory, so I don't really know what the argument is. Maybe I'm just biased because I really like the idea of a round Earth. So,
Well, if if the planet was flat, and I'm just doing this by observation. I'm not an astrophysicist. I'm just a dad. Okay. If you look through a telescope and you look at all the planets, they're round. If they were flat, they would be disks. Disks don't do well in space. Okay. Because sooner or later, they're going to turn sideways and they're going to disappear and you're not going to see them until they flip over again. So far, that hasn't been happening in all these, how many hundreds of years have we been looking at through telescopes? Hasn't happened.
This is true.
Why would the Earth be flat and the moon isn't? I don't know. There are objects that belong in the same space and they're subjected to the same forces and same limitations. Nah.
yeah, that's
It's
crazy.
not flat. It's round.
Did you see that thing I sent you on Instagram about water on the sun?
Oh yeah.
So just for listeners, I forgot what the exact thing is, but someone said like if you had like a bucket of water the size of the sun and you poured it on the sun, would it put it out? And it said no, the sun would like instantly expand because it soaks up all the water and boils it, right? Say goodbye to our solar system for sure. But I just thought it was crazy. I was like, whoa, it's like super sun. Man. Now there is I don't know if it's just theories or I don't think it's scientifically possible. I don't know. But there's the idea of worlds being like in the shape of donuts. I forgot what the actual word is, but I just thought that was cool. I was like, oh, instead of a round like globe, they're like donut shape. So there's like a hole in the middle and it's just
Really?
yeah. I have to look this up.
How would that?
How would
I
that?
mean, where's the core then? Is the core so is it not just like a core? Is it more like
I don't know.
so I'm imagining everything's like a ring then.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Huh.
Maybe it's just a really thin core. Speaking of which, someone asked a question and I didn't put it on my list because I didn't feel like dealing with it. But Dad, I'll ask it anyway. If we can't drill to the center of the earth, how do we know what's down there?
Because every now and then something called a volcano pops up and spews out stuff. Something has to generate enough force to spew it out. Something has to generate enough force to push all this molten lava out. Okay. So that has to be something, right? Okay. So has to be hot, has to have pressure. Okay. So every now and then it shows itself by spitting it out.
Well, last thing I'll say before we move on to another great Sam question. How come the Flat Earth Society doesn't just raise a bunch of money and do a giant expedition to the end of the world? I mean, with planes, trains, boats, everything we got, the fact that we can travel across the world to another country in a span of hours, you would think somebody would have found the edge of the earth by now.
You know, my theory on that is because that requires actual planning and forethought and investing the time to find the evidence to support your hypothesis, when it's just easier to be contrarian on the internet and make people pissed off. So
my
Yeah.
theory was that the giant turtle that's carrying us all just eats the people on the edge.
that's a good point. Yeah.
That could be true.
Mhm.
There you go. I
All
like
right, Sam.
Sam's better though.
No.
I don't know. I like the turtle one though. Like, let's see that. How come we haven't seen the turtle? Let's talk about that. What is NASA keeping from us? I want to see the space turtle.
Well, hey,
What's its name?
That's right. Bob Turtle. Bob Turtle. Look, we ought to be able to see a head or a tail, right?
In the beginning, God created Adam and Eve, and then Bob the space turtle. That's
To carry us all.
to carry us all through on
you go.
spaceship Earth. There you go.
There you go.
We're throwing everything in here now.
All right, Sam. What else does this Sam character want to ask?
Okay. Well, is it me? Am I the character, or am I making up usernames? Or are we going?
Oh crap! Hang on a second. I clicked the wrong thing.
What'd you do?
I opened up Oregon Trail on accident.
You can
Dad,
edit this out, right?
Conceivably, how long do you think would you survive the Oregon Trail?
Me
Oh, I would
personally,
suck.
Yes.
Oh. Oh gosh, me personally, I'd probably make 30 miles and then you'd find my bleached bone somewhere.
I'd make it now in a car. But I got apparently, like, they remade it. It's new, and it's the same game. It's just new. And I'm like, I couldn't get through day one. I'm just like, man, I gotta worry about rations, how far I'm traveling, all this stuff. I quit.
It's too much, Life is so much easier now, Yeah.
Yeah. It's still on my hotbar here, so I accidentally opened it. Okay, Sam, go for it.
Okay. Well, this is not from me. This is from username Island Guy 95. So this is mostly a Lost podcast. So let's bring it back to Lost for a moment. You're a survivor on a plane crash that has left you stranded on a seemingly deserted island. Given the choice, would you A, stick to the beach and wait for rescue, B, construct a raft and sail in whatever direction you can to find rescue, or C, would you abandon all hope and just trek into the island?
Right off the bat, Boy Scout training tells me got to seek shelter. You need shelter, you need water, you need food in that order. I'd be heading into the island to build a shelter. If I stay on the beach, I'm going to cook. Have an awesome tan, but I'm just going to be dehydrated and all that kind of stuff.
That's true.
If I get on a raft, man, then I'm at the mercy of the sea. I'm going to be eating fish all day long if I can catch them. And I'm going to have a limited amount of drinking water. My best bet is to go inland.
And depending on what part of the world you're in, your raft will just go off the side of the earth.
It's true.
And I'd be eaten by the giant turtle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Bob.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, no, play it safe, be conservative, go inland.
That's kind of what me and Sam have been talking about through the first season of Lost. Like, we would use like our scout training one just to kind of like make everything more comfortable.
Yeah.
It gets to the point where it's like, okay, there's a good chance no one's going to rescue us. I would still keep up, doing the bonfires and all that stuff. On the island, of course, they have like the radio tower. I would have tried to find that like in week 1.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, for the most part, like, man, they're 44 days on the island. That's the point of the show where me and Sam are right now. For sure, I would at least have like a crappy cabin built up already. At least the floorboards. Because if you don't have floorboards, what's the point?
Yeah.
Just chopping down trees all day. Got nothing else to do.
Yeah.
Got some lashing. I don't know what from, but I'll figure something else.
If you're on a tropical island, you're going to have certain plants. If you're going to be on I don't know, an island, off of Boston Harbor or somewhere like that, you're going to have different trees.
Yeah, you want to take a baseball bat with you.
Yeah. You're going to have different situation, but in the classic, tropical island and stuff, you can do it. Come on. There was that Japanese guy who was like 40 years after the war ended, was living out there just fine, all on his own.
Oh, wow.
See, I would die because of the food. Like, I'm not a hunter. I wouldn't be able to hunt. I wouldn't be able to teach myself how to hunt. So I would be one of the builders. Give me stuff to build. Now that's assuming we're on Lost. If we're on our own, I'm dead even faster. Like, well, I'm gonna eat this berry. I hope if it doesn't kill me, I'll continue to eat this berry.
Oh, hey.
Yeah.
Well, if I'm ever stranded on an island somewhere, I hope I have my old scout manual.
Ooh, that'd be something cool to travel with.
There you go.
Old scout.
That way I don't have to rely on my memory.
That's true. But make sure it's in your carry-on, and preferably make sure it's in like your coat pocket, because when you crash land on the island, who knows if you're going to find your suitcase.
Oh, man. Very true.
Okay, so Tuesday asks, would you use a solid rubber bowl for cooking? I found what looks to be a pretty cool solid rubber bowl online, but they are on a jewelry making website. The reviews are good, but the bowls are used for making molds. Any thoughts on whether I should use solid rubber bowls for cooking, mixing, etc.?
For cooking inside it? No.
Solid rubber?
Solid rubber bowl.
Yeah, that's why I'm confused with solid rubber. Like, I would just say no just to be safe.
Yeah.
Because even like
when
it would melt.
Well, yeah. Rubber will melt. No, don't use it.
Don't do it
But
Tuesday.
I will say that there are some baking things that are kind of rubbery that you can bake inside molds. You can bake inside them, but they're baking. They're not exposed to actual flame, like on the stovetop. They're in the oven, but they tend to be thin, and you can fold them. You can mold them so that you can pop whatever you're baking out of them. I guess those are okay, but yeah.
Better safe than sorry.
Yeah, stick with cast iron. That's my advice. Tuesday, buy some cast iron.
All right, Sam. We got time for a few more.
All right. Let's see. Here's one. This is from Steve DeGrasse Hoppa. What are some of your favorite memories working in radio?
Oh, man. Well, Steve, so it was college radio, so it was kind of loose, but it was nice that I could pick my own playlist. I could bring in my own albums and play them. That was pretty cool. Just the experience of having a microphone in front of you, You know that, granted, it's college radio. We're not that many listeners out there, but there were listeners out there, and you wanted to do a good show, play some good music, things that other stations weren't really playing, you know. There were limitations as to what could be played, that were placed on us by the faculty. You couldn't compete with a commercial radio station. You couldn't compete with the other college radio stations. So it's kind of select on what music you could play. But within those parameters, we were able to play lots of stuff. And we gave the news. We had, believe it or not, we had a teletype machine, that ancient beast of communications. And we would, rip the news feed off and read it there, or take it and kind of brush it up, and then read it at the newscast. We gave the weather. We talked about, we would do PSAs for the school, and it was fun. It was really fun. I enjoyed it, and I went to school with lots of people who wound up making that their career. And so it was awesome. I have nothing but good memories of being on college radio.
All right. So Anonymous asks, this one's going a little deeper. What might you learn from a fictional story that you may not from a nonfiction story?
I'd have to say how to use your imagination, how to allow yourself the privilege of going into different worlds, experiencing other people's viewpoints on whatever the storyline is. In our fast-paced world, we are so used to having 3 to 4 seconds to take in a bit of information and digest it. And in a book, you're not limited to those 3 seconds. So you can follow the story lead. You can follow it. You can go back and you can reread. You can give yourself permission to go into any world that's being presented to you. Not to go off on a tangent, but that's something that school today does not give enough time to, and give enough credence to, allowing students, particularly younger students, to really fall into a story. Prime example, way back in the 70s, I read The Pearl by Steinbeck.
John Steinbeck.
Okay. Oh, I see shaking heads. But anyway, I read The Pearl. Okay. That book wasn't a game changer for me, but I enjoyed it so much because I was able to very easily not follow the story, but actually feel like I'm an observer within the story. And I don't think students are allowed that today. I don't think they're given enough time, to fall into a story like that. So there you go. I hope I answered the question.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. If you're listening and you haven't figured it out by now, both Sam and myself are booksellers. We work at bookstores, and that's something I've thought about a lot lately. Like what's the value of fiction? But it's like I feel like there's so much of value in nonfiction, so much to gain, but it's almost like at the end of the day, you're always on the outside. It's always happening to someone else. You're always the other. As empathetic as a person as you are, you might, relate more or less with some stories other than others. Same thing with fiction, except I think with fiction, it actually has the power of like quote unquote having these events happen to you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's putting you in the story, you behind this protagonist, or like you said, like you're just in the story and you're following this character, but it's almost like the events are happening to you. And I think that's a good way to teach empathy, because it's no longer about like, oh yeah, I feel bad for those people over there. It's like, oh no, it's the age old saying, walk walk a mile in someone else's shoes. That's what you're doing when you're reading.
Mm-hmm.
You're transporting yourself to this other place, into this other person, and you're experiencing it from their perspective.
Yeah. And, I think you can learn. I feel like everything you can learn in fiction, you can learn in nonfiction. That's kind of the point of nonfiction, is that this is somebody telling you, hey, this is the way things are. Either this is somebody's biography about their life, or this is a scientist, talking about this thing or whatever. But there's all of these things that you can learn from that. And I do agree that fiction allows for empathy. I also feel like you're allowed in fiction to feel things that you otherwise wouldn't, or you're allowed to feel things that might be I don't want to say like looked down on or anything, but yeah, there's, within the book and reading community online lately, there has come the odd notion that you cannot like villain characters. That the fact that you, as a person reading this story or watching this movie or whatever, if you like a villain, then you automatically sanction their actions, because that's something that you would also do in your real life, given the opportunity. And it's this weird way of looking at story, and this weird way of interpreting what stories are meant to do. And I think the best stories, and through that, the best villains, their job is to make their job is to make an argument. And their job is to be the antithesis of the things that the hero stands for, or the protagonist stands for. And I can like villains because I can like their character. I can like, oh, they're like, you're a swarmy person, or you do like, you have a really good monologue that you get, or something like that. I can like a villain. I can like a villain's appearance, or how they come off, or hey, they had a cool fight scene. I can like all these things about the villain without condoning, without condoning their actions or sanctioning their actions, being like, yep, that's what I would do. Like I that has absolutely nothing to do with it. And I think that's something that you're also allowed to express and feel in fiction, because in nonfiction, these are very real people that have done some very bad things, and the people that they've hurt are real people. But in text, in fiction, they're not. They're made up. Somebody sat at a computer or a typewriter and typed all this out, and those people don't necessarily exist, so it's okay.
I agree with you. There's at some point, and maybe I'm off on this, but at some point when you're reading a book, fiction, nonfiction, you have to tell yourself, hey, this is a book.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is a book. It's a good book. It's a bad book. It's about good people. It's about bad people. Doesn't matter. It's a book. You can close it and you can walk away. So I'm leery of people who put too much emphasis on a very small part of the whole reading experience.
Mhm.
You know, oh, well, I can't, using your example, I can't like a villain because I'm sanctioning their actions. No, you like the villain because the author did a good job of writing and creating that person. Okay. Or the author did a really good job of bringing to life a real life person. So I think you have to be a bit sophisticated in your reading, in your approach to reading, so that you don't fall into that trap. Oh no, I can't read this book because the villain does this. I mean, this is a stretch, but the next thing you do is you start burning and banning books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, people are losing common sense. It all comes down to common sense, It's just like I'm a theater kid. I come from the theater background. I know like the power and the magic that theater and acting has on people, but never for a second does the audience forget they're in a theater. So it's about knowing the medium.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I agree. Good question though.
Anonymous says, I ordered a Detroit style pizza and the delivery guy pulled up and started shooting at me. Was that part of the order?
Do I have to answer this question?
I think it goes back to the common sense we were talking about.
Yeah.
You need a new pizza place, my friend.
Yeah, definitely.
What kind of pizza did you order though? That's my question. Some people feel very strongly about pineapple, being on pizza.
Oh, that's true. He could have ordered a Detroit style and then added like hummus or something.
Yeah.
What?
Okay.
No way.
Yeah. Then he had it coming. Yeah.
Yeah, he had it coming. All right, Anonymous. Enough from you. You had it coming. All right, Sam, wrap us up with a good one.
Well, I don't know if it's going to be a good one, but it's the last question I got. This is from user Fruit Fly. That's fruit with 2 O's and fly spelled PHLY. Fruit Fly.
All right.
In your opinion, what is the best way to quit a job?
Oh, well, Mr. Fly, I would have to say,
now, from what I'm getting from here, it's not necessarily like what is the most morally right way to quit a job, but just what is the best way?
The best way is to tell all your workmates that you like them and you're out of here for whatever reason. Okay. I got a better offer. I can't stand this place. I'm going to go do anything but this. Whatever the reasons you're leaving, it really doesn't matter. The best way to leave a job is to have a really good goodbye session with your workmates. Okay? If you don't have good workmates, then it's a good thing that you're leaving. Okay? Get out of there. Go find a place where you can make friends at work. There you go.
I like it.
That's not what I was going to say.
I was
going to say you walk in there and you go into your boss's office and say, I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore. And you jump out the window. They'll remember that.
Well, yeah, fair enough. Now, I did leave a job fairly recently, but they called it retirement. Okay.
I mean, like retirement?
No, not that kind of retirement.
Oh, okay.
No,
but it was your decision. So
it was my decision. I left on my terms.
Mm-hmm.
It was
I
your
was a-
retirement. It wasn't them retiring you.
Correct.
Gotcha.
And I guess that's the key right there. Do it on your own terms.
Mhm.
Say goodbye to those you like. Don't waste your time with those you don't like, and off you go. Hopefully, Mr. Fly, you're leaving because you got a better job, not because you couldn't stand the place. There you go.
I don't know about you, Sam, but I had fun.
I had a blast. This was fun.
Dad, how do you feel?
I had fun.
That's good. You're not
I had-
nervous. You weren't sweating for any of these questions.
No, they did make me think, so I really enjoyed
Oh,
that.
see, this keeps you young.
That's right. Yeah. No, I enjoyed it. Let's do it again.
All right, everyone. Thanks for joining us for this Ask Dad episode of Lost Legacies. If you want more of our dad, let us know. I want that hashtag Lost Legacies to be on fire. And I guess also hashtag Ask Dad, but there's already like a lot of like really solid dad questions on that. But yeah, let us know. And don't forget to like, subscribe, share,
Rate and review.
Yeah, this is a very different episode from what we usually do, so post it on your Facebooks and your Twitters. And you can find me at _Matt Jimenez on Twitter and Holy Hand Grenade of Antioch on Instagram.
And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Reel, that's REEL, Texas Weirdo.
Dad, anything you want to say?
You'll find me at the dinner table.
There you go.
In the morning, just to beat this early bird. Hey, baby, come on, look at me. Hey, yeah. I'm first.